The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
You must surrender to the beat. Have some hope and get up on your feet. Keep your faith in the right direction. Search your soul and gain reflection. Come on, people, do the Buddha boogie with me.
Hey, everybody knows what time it is when you hear that Buddha boogie music going down here at Take 12 Recovery Radio. This is Buddha time. Let me tell you, you need to be stepping up to the front of the line because this is the space where real stories meet real growth. This is where you'll hear the people who are doing the work, showing up and finding light in the everyday grind. These aren't headlines, no, and these aren't sidelines. These are soulful, down-to-earth conversations with people who inspire change on the front lines of life, recovery, healing, and community. So slow it down, tune it in, and find your own front line because it's Buddha time. And now, here's your host, Tommy Buddha.
That was me singing "Do the Buddha Boogie." That was the next line. You cut me off.
But then we exploded.
Yeah, we exploded. Boom! Buddha time. How you doing today? You know, I had a great morning this morning. I went up to my roof, and every morning I go up there and I do this thing. I stare into the sun, or not into the sun, at the sun, because you reset your clock so you can sleep better and all that stuff. And it was cloudy out, right? So then I realized, you know, like, because right away, poor me, everything's like, I'm screwed because the sun ain't out and I'm not going to get my clock set.
Right.
You know? Right. And then I got this message from a good friend of mine. And the good friend of mine sent me this message. I posted it before. I don't know if you saw it. But he said this thing about trust. And then I started thinking, behind the cloud is the sun, right? And behind, then I saw the birds flying. How do they do that? I don't know. Who cares? Get into the flow of this thing and feel it. You know what I mean? And then I saw, the wind was blowing. So the world keeps going, and no matter what's going on, the sun is shining, and no matter what's going on, the wind is blowing, and we're creating things. And that's what we're going to do here today. We're going to have some creation fun. We're going to meet up with my good friend Bill Edwards, and we're just going to have some fun and talk about what's going on with life and us in general. Correct?
Sounds
the plan.
Sounds like a plan. Can you move a little closer to your mic?
Who, me?
Yes.
I see. I told you I moved the mic around.
There you go.
Is it better?
That's much better.
Yeah.
That's
I watched, like the other day, I watched all 5 episodes that I've done up until now.
You're crazy.
And I watched, it with, I made the big mistake of watching it with Jess, my girlfriend. And, so she said, your face is too much in the camera. I'm like, you got to move back. And I'm like, you got a big nose, all that stuff, And so, like, I moved back. I got now this thing here, like pushed away so I don't overwhelm anybody with the mic.
Yeah.
And I'm learning, doing the right thing. And later on, when she watches it, she'll go, good job. You know what I mean?
Good job.
Which, happy
Good
wife, happy life, right?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yep.
So, we got Bill Edwards here, and I'm going to do a little intro. Now, again, I'm new to this stuff, right? And I've never done the intro. Monty always does it. So chances are I'm going to screw this up. It's a good chance. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Because
There's only one rule in podcasting. Have fun.
No mistakes, second takes. That's what I tell the kids. When I work with kids, I say, no mistakes, second takes. Kids, I screwed up. No, do it again. Do it again. So if I do it again, I'm just following my own advice. Take my advice. I'm not using it. All right. So today's guest is Bill Edwards, founder of the Westchester All-Stars Christmas for Wounded Veterans. These shows ran from 2012 through 2018, right? Correct? 2012,
Yep.
2018. Bill organized world-class musicians, recording studios, and community partners to raise funds, awareness for veterans who often fall through the cracks of government funding. This was inspired by his late father, William A. Edwards, a World War II and Korean War veteran. 2 wars he was in. His father dedicated over 8,000 volunteer hours to help fellow servicemen. Bill turned his shows into a movement. He raised significant support for organizations like My Brother Vinny, the Gary Sinise Foundation, and the Bob Woodruff Foundation. Not to mention, there was many more than that because I actually have a list of them. He produced all-star concerts and original Christmas CDs, and 100% of the proceeds went to 501c3 charities to improve the lives of veterans. With celebrity endorsements, signed guitars from music legends, and the support of the local community, his project became a shining example of how music can heal, unite, and give back. You are an example of the power, and you are a power of example. Welcome, Billy.
Thanks for having me.
Buddha time.
Buddha time, baby.
Yeah.
And if you stumble, being this is your first time doing the interviews, I have 3 oranges on the table here, and if you need, I'll juggle.
Well, it's funny you should say that. It's funny you should say that because we're going to do this thing that we do, and I wanted you to be here for it because we call it useless information, and I am sure you are loaded with useless information because you're just that type of guy.
Oh yeah. So should we cue up the music here, buddy?
Cue it up, man.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, hit it.
Hey now, gather around, it's time to play. We're diving into trivia in a jazzy way. With a swing in our step and a smile so bright. Let's celebrate the facts that don't feel quite right.
There you go. A little useless and mindless information on Buddha Time with Tommy Buddha. What kind of, other than useful information, useless information do you got for us, buddy?
Well, actually, this is kind of useful information because I went and watched your podcast the other day with Sean from the Act Social.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about different laws. I got to do this or the focus just getting people sending me messages. So you did this thing about laws, and I said, let me check out laws. Matter of fact, one of the laws I found is you cannot juggle without a permit in the city in Oregon. So you mentioned juggling.
Well, let's consider that my part because I have nothing on deck for this thing.
Wow.
Well, you ever go to Florida, Bill?
Yes, I do.
Florida.
It's illegal to sing in your swimsuit. So
It's what?
illegal to swim, to sing in your swimsuit.
Wow. Well, that is some very useless information, and I love it.
Man, I'm so upset. I had a whole album of numbers to sing right now I can't sing.
For some people, it's illegal to wear a swimsuit.
That's
probably
right.
should be.
That's right.
You know,
You can't unsee things, you know.
Yeah,
Once you
certain
see them, they're in there.
On, gotta go. You know.
Wow.
It's illegal to whistle underwater in Portland, Oregon. You're from Oregon, right, Monty?
Yeah, not originally from here, but not too far from Greenville, California. But I've lived in Oregon for decades now. But yeah, so it's illegal to what?
Whistle underwater. It's like licking your elbow and humming when you hold your nose. You can't whistle in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, underwater.
Well, you could, but then you drown. So it's a negative.
See, now, before when he did these things, there were things that we could try on the air. The closest thing I have to underwater would be my 40-gallon fish tank on the other side of the studio. I'm not going to stick my head in it and try and whistle because I don't want to go to jail.
That's right.
Well, here's that's right. You're in Oregon, but you're not in Portland.
No, we're not in Portland.
So
But
it might be
Portland
okay.
controls everything in this state, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh, now I'm in trouble.
In Maine, it's illegal to bite your landlord.
Where is it legal? Do we know that?
That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because I have a few landlords that I would like to take a piece out of. It's legal. In Arizona, you can't have a donkey sleeping in your bathtub after 7.
Oh, before 7, it's okay.
Well,
Apparently.
it's 25 to 6 now, so I'll get them out real soon.
Wow.
What was the other Oregon one? The one that you can't, there was one from Oregon where you can't put feces on the side of the road in a container. I think that's what it was. I can't find it.
Evidently, in some states nowadays, you don't need a container.
Yeah.
I guess that's the point. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
In Maryland, it's a misdemeanor to swear from a vehicle while driving through Rockville.
Good
So
to
this
know.
is, I'm going to assume this Rockville's a town or a county, or
Yeah, it's Rockville's a city, I guess.
you can't swear with but you can swear with the window up.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know what the deal is. They can't hear it. If they hear it, they could pull you over and arrest you.
What if we pull over first? then it's not happening while we're driving.
All I know is
right.
I would be in jail. That's
Well,
all I know.
this is weird because kind of timely because I've been following. I don't know if you guys have been following the news lately when it comes to some of these other countries, but particularly in the UK, if you say something offensive to somebody, they not only can sue you, they can have you jailed.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that too.
It's crazy, man. I tell you, in New York, everybody'd be in jail if it was a curse from your car. Here's the one that really gets me. It's West Virginia. So, apparently I hear things about West Virginia. I've never been there. It's legal to eat roadkill. No info on whether you can shoot it from your car.
Okay, wait. Say that again. It's illegal or illegal?
It's legal
Legal.
Wow.
to eat roadkill.
Okay.
No info on whether you can shoot it from your car.
Oh, okay. So it almost sounds like you got to come up on it that it might have been hit or something by accident, or
Yeah. If you find it, you could dine.
Yeah.
but they're not saying
Oh,
that
my
you
God.
can't. They're not saying you can't hunt from your
But
Vega.
it wasn't clear. It wasn't clear. And roadkill, I assume you have to hit it. I don't know. That's what I think.
That's roadkill, I guess.
Roadkill.
But if I'm standing on the road and I shoot it, I guess that would be considered roadkill too.
And this is for you, Monty. Are you in Marion County, Oregon?
Marion County, no, but it's one county up.
It's illegal for preachers to eat onions or garlic before giving a sermon.
What, are the vampires scared?
That wouldn't work on Arthur Avenue.
No.
I think it should be illegal for anybody to eat onions or garlic before they speak publicly.
Apparently,
Unless the first
Marion-
row is far enough back. In our church, my son's church, we call that the spitting section, right in front.
All right. So that's all I got right now.
Well, I got a surprise for you. As I said, I couldn't do this, but evidently I can. Let me see here. Where is it? Come on.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys.
There you go.
That's right. I fought the law and the law won. I fought the law and the law won.
All right, let's wrap up the useless and mindless information and trivia.
It's time for the party, let the laughter flow. With useless facts, let's put on a show. Dance to the rhythm where knowledge looks bright. In a vibrant night under the jazzy
How do you like that?
Now the question
I
is,
feel like
do you
giving
feel-
jazz hands.
I know.
Now the question is, do you feel smarter?
I kind of do.
Don't you?
Yeah.
Don't you?
Yeah,
know? I do.
do.
I do. Yeah.
I don't.
I just want to go out and share it with everyone.
Yeah.
Well, there's more to come, and that's just one of the things that we've
Oh,
got.
Lord have mercy.
We're smart. We're smart. All right. So let's start talking about you, Bill.
All
Are
right.
you into that?
We can
You
do
like
that.
talking about yourself? I like
Bill
it.
Edwards.
Bill Edwards. And the Westchester All-Stars Westchester All-Star Christmas for Wounded Veterans. I could never say that fast. Never.
It sounds so cool.
Yeah,
It was cool.
it was very cool. There was a great annual show that we did early in December every year for 8 years, and great lineup of killer musicians, celebrities, rock and roll Hall of Famers. We had each year on the album we had Tommy James. We had Gene Cornish of the Rascals, Carmine Appice of the Vanilla Fudge, Bernie Williams from the New York Yankees, the cast of The Sopranos, all different characters like that. And
John Sebastian.
John Sebastian, yep.
Wow.
And we put out a Christmas CD each year with some of the greatest local talent from the New York area, including Blues Buddha Tommy right here. He was on that with me each year of the whole run. And then what we did was we would, well, like he mentioned earlier, everybody that worked on this thing, nobody took a penny. A lot of charities, they pay their celebrities. Anybody that wanted to help me with this, they did it for free. And they came through in a big way. And over the course of the 8 years, I guess it was, we gave away about $850,000 in cash donations directly to the 501c3s and large blocks of concert tickets to different veterans groups that were located here in New York to get them involved and get them in there every night for a great night of entertainment. And, we did raffles, and like Tommy touched on, I got guitars signed by everybody under the sun. Willie Nelson, Billy Joel, Peter Frampton, everybody you could think of, signed guitars. We would auction off those guitars, and all that went back into the till. And we did some great work and met, tons of great people, men, women, some disabled, some just that had served this country and were very proud to do it. So it was a thing that we wanted to do and give back. And like I said, I started it in the name of my father, because he was the biggest patriot I ever met in my life. Not because he was my dad, but, because he lived it every minute of every day. So it was good. He didn't make it even to the first show, though. He passed away, but I know he's looking from up there and, very proud of all of our efforts. And, so that's the story of that whole effort and what we did with it. And it was my honor to put it together and be the executive producer and work with all these great musicians such as Tommy here. And, it was a great thing. COVID kind of killed us with it, like it did to so much other entertainment stuff. The theater held, I think it was 1,000 seats. But, with COVID, when that came, they shut the theater down, and then people weren't anxious to get back out there and sit elbow to elbow with 900 people. So we just had to pull the trigger on that, and that's what directed me into the writing music for all these other community-minded groups, the alcoholics and, addiction, drug and alcohol addiction, the suicide group that I helped with, a friend of mine who's a couple who their 21-year-old son killed himself. So they started a foundation which works with school. They went around to schools everywhere. They do all kinds of functions to bring awareness to the plight of, suicide and its mitigating circumstances, which Tommy and I spoke about, that a lot of these songs that I write for these groups, it's because of all of those afflictions are all tied together and can be a common issue for the drug and alcohol addiction. We did one for the gay and trans youth groups, the Duchess Pride Center, where all of those different factors become issues in both mental issues and depression and all of that. So I kind of just like streamlined into that to keep up the work and do what we can to shine a light on all these other problems, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I met you. I know you. We went to different high schools together.
Yep.
In Yonkers, you were in Lincoln. I was in Yonkers High, and I saw you more at Yonkers High. Did you ever go to Lincoln, by the way?
I
you
did,
ever-
just enough to graduate. But all the musicians that I worked with came from the
We're in
south,
we're in my,
south
we're in my
Yonkers area, and so most of my time was spent there. But I did get out. I graduated. I'm not quite sure how, but I did.
So, but like, we knew each other a long, long time, but we knew each other through other people more than we knew each other personally.
Right.
And then we reconnected because I knew all the people that were in your bands. I was very tight with every one of them. And we reconnected around 2011 or 2010.
Yeah, 2010, I think we started with that, up with Paul at the studio in Connecticut, and you turned me on to him, which were one of the studios that would donate tons of hours and time and everything towards the Veterans Project and all of these things. So, yeah, we've known each other for a long time.
For a long, long time. And, when we started hanging out together, we were in some blues contests together. And
Yeah.
we played a lot, played in different places together with Vinny and all that stuff. And finally, when you came with this idea, we came together and I helped you in the beginning, and we started together pretty much, I think.
Yep.
And one of the things I really love about you, and I have to tell you this now, you were a guy who inspired me, as well as I've always been involved in serving people, but your selfless stuff really inspired me. I want you to know that.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, you gotta find a way to do it, because my motto is, if you go through life and you don't do something for others and you don't look to help your community and these different causes, you're kind of wasting your time.
Wasting your time. I have a question for Bill, if I may, real quick, because I know this is something that I get asked a lot, and I don't always have a very good answer for it. When it came, you guys brought in a lot of money, true?
Yes.
Yeah. How did you disperse that? How did the people in need get that?
Well, I worked with those organizations that Tom mentioned. Other ones were Disabled American Veterans, which is a group that works out of the VA hospital right up here in New York with us, that do great work. Again, everybody that does anything with that organization does it for free. And with them, I was able to buy them, I think, 3 15-passenger vans that were being used to transport veterans that were patients at the hospital that didn't have transportation, guys that needed rides to buy groceries. They didn't have anything like that. So it was things like that where I would like to put the wheels in motion, where those dollars would then generate help on their own and go out. And all the donors and all the theater concerts, all the profits that came there, I always had the theaters send checks directly in the name of a 501c3. I never wanted anything coming to me, because I didn't have the wherewithal to go become a 501c3. I didn't have lawyers. I knew what I could do, and I did that. So the way I worked around it was make sure that if a guy came to me and said, I'm going to donate to you $15,000, who do you want it to go to? I would give them Friends of Fallen Heroes New York, Disabled American Veterans, and the checks would go directly made out to them. And that way I could always tell where it goes. And I vetted those organizations and looked to see that the money was being well spent, and know the people, got to know all the people that were running those operations. And, we got to see some great work. And it was really an honor on my, for me.
Wow. That's great.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the other things that we did, or you did, you organized, because you organized all of it. You got a lot of people you got about 12 different studios that worked with us.
Yep.
Not only Paul, but there was a few others, and you had every artist produce a song and put it in. That was like a mass undertaking. Can you talk about that a little bit? What that was like?
So when I started the thing, I said, let me go to the people that I know, the people that I value their musical talent, and people that I think would want to help and get involved in something like this. And I'd say 99% of the people that I asked jumped on it and said, we're in, and what do you need? So I would tell them, listen, we're going to put this CD together. I want a song of your genre, whatever you do. If you're a blues Buddha, give me a great blues Christmas song. If you're an R&B artist, and then give me an R&B Christmas song. You're a hard rock artist. One of the girls that worked with us for the whole time was Kristen Capolino, a beast of a guitar player, hard rocking girl, but she each year would write one. Then I started dealing with Gene Cornish from the Rascals. They're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I said, Gene, how about I write you a song for each year? And I would write a song, bring him into the studio, and did it. Then we did it with the guy, actor Vince Curatola, who was Johnny Sack on The Sopranos. And even the guy who was Junior Corrado, I wrote a song for him. And we would go into different studios, record them singing it. I would take my vocals out and say, all right, here's the song, learn it. And then we had them sing it or play on it if they were a guitar player like Bernie Williams. He said to me, well, I don't really write at the time. I think now he does, but he didn't really write anything. And I said, what would you like? What kind of song would you like to put on the album? He goes, well, I love like Latin jazz and rock. And I said, give me a week. I'll write you a song that's in the vein of Carlos Santana. And he did the first one, and it came out great. So he did, I think, either 3 or 4 years with us. And, all of those people, I would write a song for them and then hand it over to them, and they would jump on there and do it. And on each album, there was probably 15 songs each year, all original or public domain. A couple of the public domain songs were on there. And we'd release the CD and sell them through radio ads and stuff. I'd line up radio stations up here in New York, and they would have us in. And a lot of times I would bring the celebrities like Vinny Pastore, who was the big pussy on The Sopranos. And we went into the city and got on K-Rock and the big radio stations. And so I'd use the celebrity angle to get in there and tell the story about it. So, and then we also worked with, in New York, the Veterans Administration Office for Westchester County, which the operation was based in, and they would help us immensely too and get us some coverage and, radio interviews and things like that. And then it would just steamroll. The first theater we did it in was only 420 seats. The next one was the Tarrytown Music Hall. That went up to 800 seats. And then we stayed at the Paramount Theater, which was about 950 we would end up in there. So it really just grew as it went, and more people heard of what I was doing, and they said, hey, let's do it,
What was it like, when you launched the product? Your father passed away.
Right.
Right. And I didn't know how long ago before that did he pass away before the concert?
Well, he didn't make it to the first one, but he knew
Right.
I was doing the first one and knew
Right.
we were recording the album, and I played him some of the songs and stuff like that as we were building them. But then when, he passed, he didn't get to see it. But like I said, I know, he's up there someplace looking down, probably telling Jesus, hey, that's my kid. That's my kid doing this.
Yeah. Billy Jr.
Yeah, I know. I think I made him. So
Yeah.
so I know, it wasn't lost, and I know good friends of his, and friends that I've made over the years doing that I'm still in touch with, veterans, from Florida where he lived, and it was a lot of good friendships and musical, collaborations, with everybody that was involved on it, and it was a great experience. A lot of work, but it was all worth it, if you ask me.
Yeah, got a lot of doing advertisements and running around and organizing and herding cats.
Yes.
Tell me some. There was a few things that you did, or tell them. I know some of the things you've done, all the things actually. You did some things with some veterans, particularly, like you went to one gentleman's house and built a ramp, and there was other things that you did with that lieutenant that was injured.
Yeah, Lieutenant Prado. Yes, he was a I think he was 27 years old. He was from Somers, New York, and he was a football, star on the local high school level and everything. But he had the calling to go into the military, and he was in Afghanistan. He was a lieutenant in the 82nd Airborne, sorry. And while he was over there, an armored personnel carrier that he was in with 3 other gentlemen hit a landmine, killed everyone in the vehicle, and just destroyed him. He had a broken spine, fractured skull, both legs broken, and he became paralyzed from that accident, and he was wheelchair bound. So I thought, being it was the Westchester All-Stars and he was a Westchester young man, I started putting together teams of craftsmen, plumbers, electricians, tile guys. And what we did was we transformed his house into a handicap accessible location. I got a friend of mine donated a, one of those chair lifts, the residential chair lifts they have, which is like $12,000. Got somebody to donate that for him, and then I called the company, Acorn Chairlifts, and since then they've installed 2 of them, and they wouldn't take a penny. They sent crews to the house and installed it, and then any parts we needed or tracks that we needed to form, to work in his house. Everybody donated it. Tile companies brought that. Plumbing companies donated all the handicap accessible toilet, the toilets, the sinks, the showers, and everything. Flooring companies came in and ripped up all the carpet and put down vinyl flooring so his wheelchair would move good. So in doing that for him, and then we also gave him directly, I think it was $25,000 to help with his recovery, because he was going back and forth to Florida where he was going through physical therapy and trying to get better. And but he was a great young man, and his story just tugged at my heartstrings. And I said, you know what, let me see what we can get done. And we got a lot done for that guy. And another one that was out in New Milford, Connecticut, we heard of a elderly Vietnam veteran who did 3 tours over there, and he got to the point he couldn't even walk up a flight of stairs in his own home. So he had to sleep on a couch on the first level and couldn't go upstairs. I got another chairlift. Companies came and put ramps up to his house, and all volunteers. And, we'd find people like that and help them out individually along with the organizations. So it was a lot of good stuff going on there.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing stuff. You also, we talked about the celebrities that came and all that stuff. You had these guitars that were signed.
Yep.
Billy Joel, Johnny Cash, Peter Frampton. Do you remember which one of those stood out the most to you? Like that, like kind of a story about any of those?
Well, one that I liked, I did one called The Women of Rock, and it was signed by not Pat Benatar, Melissa Etheridge, Judy Collins, Belinda Carlisle from the Go-Go's, Ronnie Spector and Darlene Love, 2 Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. And we have them all on one guitar. And then another guitar I had, it was signed by Gene Cornish and Felix Cavalieri of the Rascals, and it was also signed by Don Henley from the Eagles. And, all these people, I would reach out to them. Some I had connections to, some I didn't, but I would get to their manager and tell them what I was doing. And then the theater that we did at the Paramount, they would get people in, Gordon Lightfoot. I'm trying to think of all the others because there was tons of them. And then we would sell those guitars and either auction them off, and then the money would come in, and that was all given into the cause. So it was really nice. We found a lot of different ways to keep it fresh and keep building it. So that's what happened.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yep.
Wow.
So 2019 comes along, everything closes down.
Yep.
Plus you struggle through a lot of health stuff.
Yeah.
On top of that, you have a lot of issues that go on. So
yep.
We all took a side road during COVID, right?
Yeah, yep.
And on top of that, all that stuff. So, how do you feel now that you don't see it ever coming back, or something similar, or do you have any ideas of?
I don't see it coming back as it was, because like even the theaters that we did it in, they're not even booking the big bands anymore. They can't sell out a 1,000-seater and pay an act $60,000 to come in and play. So they're all doing the cover bands or tribute bands, like that. And it's much smaller scale, or they're doing, stand-up comedians that, if they sell 300-400 seats, it's good enough to, pay for the acts and stuff. But that's why I started doing all the other, the other things, the other groups that I was trying to help. We did one about PTSD for veterans, because that, again, is one of those things that the mental stress that comes from that is another derivative of the problems of alcohol and drug abuse, and the Alzheimer's organization and ALS. I keep writing stuff for them and giving the songs to them to use in any capacity they might be able to use them for. One of the local hospitals up here near me, well, it was called St. Francis, I forget what it's called now, but they have a big detox center and psych ward up there. And one of the psychiatrists up there got wind of these songs. Not sure how, but he contacted me and said, would it be okay with you if I use these in therapy sessions for all these different, I say afflictions, but I don't mean it as that. I mean, it's whatever is causing their condition, and what's driving them, to consider suicide, or the depression, or the alcohol or drug abuse. All of those things are, to me, they're like a family of sins that are kind of tied together. And I'm lucky because I've never had any issues with any of these things. So people that hear the songs that I've written for these different groups, I get letters from them like, you wrote the story of my life. Thank you for your bravery to tell your story. And then I have to go back to them and say, listen, it's not my story. That's your story. And I research it. Usually whatever the group is, I run those lyrics that I write by people that are involved with it. Like the Duchess Pride Center, I actually sent the song for the gay and trans youth to he's my primary care doctor and great friend for 25 years. And I never even knew that he had a daughter who was transitioning to live as a man. So when I heard that, and he said, I'm a physician, and I had no place to go for information or help. He goes, I was thrown into this and I didn't know what to do, But he took it so far as to start this on top of his thriving medical practice, to start this organization to benefit youth going through that, either, coming through as a gay child or a trans child, and started this whole thing. And I was so impressed by what he did, for his own daughter, that I said, some parents, they get that news and they throw the kid out of the house. There's no support group for them. But he took it so far the other way. I said, I'm going to write you something. And I wrote this song. I sent it to him. And then I took their whole youth board, the board of directors, all the young kids that were there, into a studio. And I had them sing on the chorus of this, kind of like a We Are the World kind of thing. And the response that I got from those kids and their parents, that it was like life-changing for them. And I was so happy that it could affect somebody's life that way. And wow. and even then, I got a couple letters from the parents, are you in the community? And no, and the way I always explained it, I said, do you think Stephen King really has a dog named Cujo who kills people? Or a car named Christine? I said, no, he writes a story. What? But in my case, in doing these things, I would get the information from... What?
You shattered my world.
Oh, I thought he had a dog named Cujo.
Yeah. No, but you know what I mean? You know,
I
as a
do.
writer,
I
you
do.
write a story, but you research it first, you know, and
Yeah.
even with the alcohol stuff, I know I sent them to Tommy in the beginning.
You said that to me, yeah.
Yeah, and I said, you know, I lean on the people that are going through it, or the family of that young boy that killed himself, and you know, you do the best you can, and it was seemed to move so many families in all different, you know, in different stories and scenarios.
You do a phenomenal job at it. I need to let the listeners know, if you're just joining us somehow, some way, you are tuned in to Buddha Time with Tommy Buddha.
Buddha Time.
And we are privileged to have Bill Edwards on, who was with Westchester All-Stars, a phenomenal story, an author and writer, songwriter, phenomenal songwriter. We really need to listen to this. I'm getting excited because you're talking about your music. This song, "Monkey on My Back." Let's play that, Tommy. You think? About time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I have a monkey on my back.
Yeah.
And we're going to
Monkey's
close
on my
out
back.
today's. We're going to
It's
close
a
out
story
today's
now.
show with "Your Battle Now Is Done," and we'll let you explain that here in a few minutes. But talk to us about "Monkey on My Back," and then we'll launch forth with the song. Let the listeners hear it.
Yeah, that was one of the songs I wrote about alcohol and drug addiction. And that one features, I don't know if you'll know, they're a core metal band, but they're gigantic. It's a band called Hatebreed. And I got the drummer from Hatebreed to come play on it, and all these other, you know, again, I pulled in people for whichever track it is that I need. I would find the best fit of musicians, tell them, listen, this is what I got. You want to play on this? And almost everybody, every time, says, where do you need me, when, I'm in. And that one was, like I said, it was, you know, for drug and alcohol addiction. And like I said, lucky for me, I've never had the issues with that. But so many of my friends, including Tommy and now you, Monty, you know, you go through it. And everybody needs some help. Or maybe they find a message in that song that says, okay, I'm getting it. I can understand it. And yeah, he's got a little point there, so I'm going to grasp that. And, you know, it seems to resonate with people, and it's, you know, it's just a great thing to happen.
Yeah.
Music heals, music unites, music, people know how to communicate through music. That's the deal.
It's powerful. All right, here is Bill Edwards and "Monkey on My Back."
I've made some real bad choices which got me where I am. A shell of who I really was, and I didn't give a damn. The poison I let ruin my life took me down an awful road. It took everything good in my life and caused it to implode. But now I've made a choice to straighten up my path, to try to fix what I have wrecked, clear up the aftermath. I know it won't be easy, but I'm ready now to change. 'Cause everything in my life I need to rearrange. To the monkey that rode on my back for all these many years, to all the loved ones that I've hurt and caused so many tears, I promise I will stay the course and work it day by day. I'll win this war that I now fight. For God's strength I will pray.
great vocals, great lyrics, great instrumentation. The talent it comes together so well. And when you got something like that, you see those of us who are listening, if you were watching, we get this huge smile on our face. You know, as soon as that guitar started, I was like, yeah. I mean, just congratulations. And here's the thing, and Tommy, I wanted to share this with you. I don't know if anybody can see it, but this is a picture of me. This is my taxi driver's license for down in San Jose. There's a picture of me, and that is 1979. And I'm looking at this picture. We just found this here. I'm looking at this picture, and I'm listening to this song. I'm looking on my back. This was in the middle of this before it bit me. I was still having fun, I thought, right? But I'm looking at this picture, and my eyes are empty. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know who this guy is. I don't recognize him. And I'm listening to that song, and I'm looking at this picture, and I'm thinking, thank you, God.
Yep, that's who you got to thank.
And I'm just telling you, I'm telling you, Bill,
100%.
what you're doing, what you've been doing, and continue to do to help other people, and being a positive influence, is what Buddha Time's all about. I know that's what Tommy's all about, and I thank you so much.
No, you're welcome. And
yeah,
thank you for shining a light on it. I appreciate it. And just so you know, those phenomenal background vocals on there is a girl by the name of Marianne Renza up here from New York, who does like tons of all my stuff. She's the best. And then on guitar, we had Kristen Capolino, the young girl I talked about. So it's, you know, I mean, when you listen, the words are the story, but when it gets to like the guitar solo and you hear that, it's almost a crying sound. It puts across the pain that this guy telling his story, how it really, you know, how it gets in there, you know, and it's very important. And, you know, I'm just glad to, I don't know how long I'll be able to keep doing it. You never know when the well gets dried up, but, you know, to write stuff like that and everything, it's really, it's a thrill to do it. And hopefully, like you said, it does touch somebody's soul, and maybe it's on a bad day when they really need the help and they say, oh, that's why I'm doing this, and I got to stick to it, you know?
Amen.
So, yep. Well, thank you.
That is what we hope for, the day that somebody will hear something that clicks it in and changes their life. You know what I mean? And you know, you do a lot of work with a lot of different organizations, and like Monty was saying, the whole point of this, and, you know, and again, that's why I say part of what you have done is it inspires me, because it's my concept today is to kind of be the same way, to unite people like you, like the people that I've, you know, talked to in the last couple of weeks, that do these things with no thought except for to maybe change somebody's life. Right. And 9 times out of 10 really don't get the, you know, the support or the funding for it without a big battle. You know, and you know, it's funny. Today, yesterday actually, I was going through Westchester All-Stars stuff, and I don't know if you remember, I wrote a proposal for you to submit to T-Mobile. I did submit.
Oh, yes, I do remember.
Yeah, it was 2017, and I'm looking at all the numbers, and I'm looking at everything that I wrote, and I'm like saying, man, like, wow. Like, I have a list of all the stars. I have a list of all the guitars that were signed. I have the amounts of money that every year, the growth. And I know where the money went. That was some of the things we, at one point, you try to associate yourself with some people, and you said, nah, because they want a piece. They want a piece. I'm not giving them a piece. I want 100% going to the organizations that count, and the hospitals, Montrose, and you know, the other ones, and so
the way I looked at it is, if I'm going to work this hard for so many people, every penny that gets raised got to go to them, not in somebody's pocket. Because and luckily for me, I had enough people like you, Tommy, and Kristen and Marianne and Paul Opalak and everything, you know, doing just that. there for the right reasons, to be the assist, to be the help for people that needed it. So it was a great thing. Yep.
Cool.
Sorry, COVID kicked us in the tail, but we did get a lot of good work done. So
100%.
Yep.
And that doesn't go unheard, and that is never forgotten.
No. I'll always remember those
Oh.
years as a very good thing.
Oh yeah.
Guys, we're almost out of time. Before we close out with this last song, Tommy, you got anything else for our guest?
Yeah, I think about your father, and like you said it before, like this thing that he's looking down and saying, "That's my boy," and if he was here and he had seen this stuff, how do you think he would have felt about it? How do you think he would have? What do you think he would have said?
Oh, well, I mean, he was so proud of me that I started it just at the very beginning when it was still such a small endeavor. I think he would be shocked at where it ended up being. And I just know he would be just pleased as punch and super proud. I'm sure his friends would never get away without hearing the story of what we did and the end result of all of that. And he always made me proud. He taught me all the right lessons in life, and it was something I felt like I can give back with him being gone. Kind of pick up his flag of community service and wanting to help veterans, and it just worked out great. And like I said, he might not be here now to see it, but he sees. I feel it.
100%.
Yep.
And the message what do you hope the message is from all the stuff that's gone with this program, and what is the message that you have to people? About giving back to these organizations.
Well, the message, I put it on every one of our CDs. I put it on our T-shirts when we were, selling the T-shirts at our concerts. And the line was, "Hate war, but love the American warrior." In other words,
Ooh, I like that.
Keep your politics out of it. When we did these shows, there was never a word said about politics on stage, on the CDs, in the songs, nothing. Because that was the message. Hate war, but love the American warrior. I always asked at the end of every show when we closed it, I'd say, do me a favor, when tomorrow you're walking through the mall or the grocery store and you see this little old timer with the hat that says Vietnam era veteran, just take a second. Say thank you for your service. Bring it up. Let them know that people cared and that still care,
Oh, you're ripping my heart out here. I got to share this. Marcia and I were at a I don't remember if it was a Veterans Day thing or a Memorial Day thing. We were at Willamette National Cemetery where my dad is laid to rest, and he was a veteran. There was a gentleman. The jets went overhead, right, and we were all standing. We were singing the national anthem or something, and there was a gentleman, highly decorated, very tall gentleman, very elderly, and full dress uniform, and he's standing there, and I was compelled. He was by himself. I walked over to him and I said, I gotta thank you on behalf of my dad and America. I just gotta thank you, man.
Yep.
You know what he said to me? And it shook me to the core to this day. He looked at me and he said, in all my years, you're the first person that's ever said that to me.
Yeah. Yep.
That is criminal, guys.
Yep.
And what you just shared,
especially when you think about Vietnam era military, when they came back, the way they were treated.
oh man,
It was horrible. They never got the thank you they deserved. And we didn't touch on that here, but one of the songs I wrote was called He Served in Vietnam, and it was talking about how we owe them. We owe everyone, anybody that put the uniform on, we owe them a gratitude. But people just it just goes by. Don't let it go by.
Yeah.
tap that guy on the shoulder. Or you're online and the guy in front of you has got the hat on and he's buy a cup of coffee and say thank you. Just
It means the world to them.
Yep, I know. And it should.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Okay, we got one more song. Your battle now is done.
Okay, yeah, that's the one that I wrote for the couple of friends of mine whose son ended up committing suicide. And they started an organization called James's Warriors, and they go around to schools and try to spread the message of how you got to watch out for this depression. But in the lyrics of the song, it's more telling. It's me talking to that boy and anybody else who might be thinking like him, that's the only way out. Because when you do something like that, it doesn't end the pain. All it does is give your pain to somebody else.
Oh.
And it puts it on the family, and then they're stuck in pain for life because of your choices to do that. So that's the story of that song. And I think, when you listen to the words to that, you'll understand. And that family, when I gave it to them, I mean, the whole family was just bawling their eyes out. I mean, to lose a young man at the age of 21, it's such a waste of life. And, if you could just get that message across to somebody who might be sitting in an auditorium in high school today when that family goes in and does their speeches and tries to give education. And if one kid in there who's thinking like that hears the story or hears this song or that, and it turns them around for even a day, by a day, because it's the same thing with addiction. You go one day at a time. Get through today. Okay, tomorrow I wake up, I'm going to get through tomorrow too. And for, young people or adults that are, thinking like this, that the end of the rope is here, they can't do anything to make it better, maybe that's enough just to get them through that day. So that's what I hope for. And thank you guys for shining the light on all this stuff. And Tom, thank you for being part of my whole thing there for 8 years. And, it's been a gas.
Pleasure.
Oh, all right. And Bill, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you. Here is your battle now is done, and then Tom, you will come back and close us out. So here is Bill Edwards.
When you chose to leave, now I suffer every day, and I still can't believe the pain that you were in, that I just couldn't see. I pray the choice you made that day has set your sweet soul free. Your battle now is done, and now mine it begins. To fight the silent curse and help someone else win. Bring it into the light so everyone can see. If I could save one person, it will be worth it to me. There isn't even one day that I don't think of you. I would have done anything if only I knew. Your pain now is done, but it shifted on to me. I don't think you realize that's how it would be. Your battle now is done, and now mine it begins. To fight the silent curse and help someone else win. Bring it into the light so everyone can see. If I could save one person, it will be worth it to me. You will live forever in my heart and my soul. I dwell upon the good times, keep my tears in control. begins to fight the silent curse and help someone else win. Bring it into the light so everyone can see. If I could save one person, it will be worth it to me. Your battle now is done, and now mine it begins to fight the silent curse and help someone else win. Bring it into the light so everyone can see. If I could save one person, it would be worth it to me.
Tommy, wrap it up for us there, brother.
Yeah, I just want to say, tomorrow we are recording the day before September 11th. And after tomorrow, we're going to have to release it on Friday. But it makes me think a lot about what we did for veterans and for the people who serve and first responders and all the things that happen. And I, for a living, play a lot in senior facilities, and I play in Alzheimer's units, and I also play in assisted living units. But it's after every time that I play, I do God Bless America, right? And it's amazing to me, so amazing to me, that people that have memory loss or people that are old all sing. Yep. I mean, I can tell you right now, very few times do I go in there and not everybody sings a song.
Right.
God Bless America still is strong. And, the things you did for the people who served America were amazing. And thank you for inviting me to be part of that. Thanks for coming here. You're an example of the power and the power of example. And I'm very blessed and fortunate. God bless you all.
All right. Thank you for having me. And Tom, thank you for your friendship for all these 50-odd. Oh, man, that sounds long.
Wow.
You meant five. There's no way.
Monty, nice to meet you too, Monty.
Yeah, you too, Bill. It's been an absolute pleasure. Nah, you don't look a day over 32, bro.
32, double that.
Yeah. Tommy thought I was talking to him. No. All
My
right.
shorts are 32.
A very special thank you to Bill Edwards, Westchester All-Stars. You got to look it up. Go online. It's all over the place. Such some great work that's been done for our veterans. And Bill continues to serve his community. Follow him. Get a hold of him. Get on his Facebook page and check it out. Tommy Buddha has been your host, and it has been Buddha time. It still is Buddha time. And until next time, we're all wishing serenity for you. Bye-bye
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.